A gCADPlus user is experimenting with using curving and flowing shapes and wants to array a series of large format pavers and then cut through the pavers using the shape. Let's simplify things a little and take a look at it. Here's a paver, a very large format paver, and it has a colour assigned to it and it is filled. It could well be a block, but he wants to use the flowing shape as a block. And I've done just that down here, and I've made a block called TT. In his example, the block is called a shape place. Now, gCADPlus has some difficulty. Firstly, let's just try the trim command. So modify and trim. The prompt says select the cutting edge. Think of that as the guillotine, and we pick it. Can you see I can't pick the block, which is part of the problem. If I select it though and explode it, and when we come back here, we now have a single polyline, and so we're going to use now that as the cutting edge. Just always do a test. Here's a circle. Let's see that our trim command works properly. Pick the slicing edge, right click and pick that there, and that works beautifully. So we can use a polyline as a cutting edge to go through a circle. Let's now try it, and remember that this is a filled shape. So we'll try again, trim, we pick cutting edge, we can select it, we right click and then pick the large format paver. See what happens through here. We miss, we don't get a nice clean cut. And the reason is gCADPlus, when it applies a fill to a shape like that large format paver, it works out where the fill is to be. It's like a flood fill. And effectively what we're doing is changing the shape as we do it. So if we take the fill off now and start our trim command again, the cutting edge, and right click, and the object to trim is that one. We get a perfect cut. Then it's going to be a little fiddly for him, but if you maybe want to use these as a template for cuts, you'd need a very large format printer to do that, but I digress. So how do we then move from there? Well, we'd go to draw and hatch, pick a point, should be able to click in there. gCADPlus radiates out. That won't work effectively if the drawing is cluttered. And if I zoom out here, you can see it's very cluttered with a whole lot of multiple X lines and construction lines sitting in there. But we now should be able to hit the enter key and OK, that should do a fill, and we will then just change the color back to our paving color. So we get the effect that we want. So it's tricky for gCADPlus and tricky for us as the user to work with that situation.